This is such a pleasant place to work up here. There's a little bit of a breeze. It maybe is affecting the camera. I'll shield it if I can. Such a beautiful day. We got a rain yesterday evening. It wasn't great, but it was better than nothing. Down there's that roof I got to turn my attention to now, the north side. And there's my strategic stockpile of pallets. I've filmed this often. It's just such a beautiful day. And what's today is going to be different is I'm working, Plerking really, Playworking up here. I'm going to give a walk around. This is where the gur and the Tulou and a moat is going to go. I'm going to have my neighbor dig a moat, a small, very small one, around the whole thing because I need the spoil to level up the areas. I've started to unstack the material I had gathered for 8 faux cuts here. I'm moving it to the side because I've changed my mind about how I'm going to orient them. And it's also, I want to start working on that gur in the middle of it all. But I wanted you to see something here. I started at this one. Now what's in between them is just fire. It's just stuff that would normally go to a landfill, but that it'll heat this area for a winter or more. All this stuff. But anyway, as I was unstacking this, look what I came to. And I thought, you know, I'll move to the next one. I'll see if I can move some of that stuff, and just so you can see the whole thing. There's its head. That was a long snake. It shed its skin right there. Almost certainly a black snake. That's one of the longest snake skins I think I've ever found here. So I wanted you to see that. So as I said, I started to unstack this one, but then I stopped because I didn't have my camera and I wanted you to see that. And I went on to the next one. What I'm doing is I'm putting the stuff that I'll reuse to the right, and stuff that's going to be burnt, it's just firewood, to the left. Now that'll all be burnt in the center of the gur. Now this next one that I came to, no snake skins, and so I unstacked it a little bit further. And here you can see what I'm after. What made me first think to do this was to get these 4x4s, which I can use up there at the folk fold. But I have to unstack it anyway because I'm going to turn it. These are radiating out of the center long ways, and I'm going to turn them 90 degrees so that they're ringing the center, as I mentioned, I think in a post, like circled wagons. And since I didn't nail anything, it's just a matter of unstacking it and getting the material ready. So let me walk on around. This is firewood in the gap between them. Here's the next one that I'll unstack and gather that material and put it to the right. There's a space that I left open. I could have put firewood there. This is where the water will come when it comes across that aqueduct, and a windmill down there, a little windmill, will pump it then to get it up here, and I'll pump it as high as really as the gur. And I said that there's going to be a moat around it, actually a double moat. There'll be a moat around the gur that's outside the gur but inside the ring of the Tulous, and then also a moat outside the Tulou. I'm saying moat is really, it's a ditch, but it's just a narrow ditch, but on a contour. So here's one that I didn't put firewood yet, but all of this stuff will be cleaned up. And where I'm walking is where my neighbor with his little backhoe will dig. This one I'll unstack, and it's just so pleasant here. And it's a Sunday afternoon, but I'm up here anyway. And these are walnuts. Years ago, I had a pickup truck loaded with walnuts that had fallen from the trees down by the house. And I brought them up here and I just dumped them in a pile. And quite a few of them have started. I'll be very careful to preserve them. I'm glad they're in. That's going to be. We're going to have have our own little grove here. There's another one of the faux cut positions that I'll unstack. Some of them I put the bunker cover over. About half of them I didn't. And this will be the way, I'm sorry about that one. This is the way I approached it. And this is going to be a way in. I'm not sure. I might leave all 4 of them, 8 of them here instead of just 7. I was going to leave one empty. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'll probably make this 8 instead of 7. And here though we'd hit the wall, one of the 8 or 7 walls of the gur, and we'd have to turn to the right or left to find the place where I'm going to put the gap to go into it. And then going into the gur, right here's the center. Somewhere here there ought to be a stake. I don't see it. Well, it's driven in the ground. It marks the center of all this. And this will be where the fire will be. Open fire. And also a chimney, a metal chimney. I'm asking a lot for you to imagine all this stuff. But I thought, you know, it's such a beautiful day. And what's it hurt to take a look at this? I'll work here a little bit more before I get down and move the fixture. This is going to look very different. Not the view, but the buildings. There's that stake, that piece of rebar. I was standing right on top of it. See, what I did to get ready here was I put the 4x4s as joists. I've since decided to go down to the ground. I want a dirt floor. I've changed my mind about the desirability of wooden floors. I want a dirt floor. But this was it. I used the 4x4s as beams and joists. I laid pallets on them. And then I put my slats on a 45. And then I put another layer of slats crossways. There, you can see them there. Nothing nailed though, so I can just lift them off and get ready to go again. There, the slats are off. That took all of about 10 minutes to just throw them twice there and then over there onto the pile. Now I'll take the pallets off. I think while I'm here, what I'll do is I'll just take this the whole way down to the ground, and then I'll work the rest of this leisurely for the rest of the week. That's where I'll stop for today, because I'll just come through here with the pickup and put the 4x4s right on the pickup truck. I get 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full ones and 3 halves. And I've got 8 spots here. So 7 times 8 is 56. I'm gonna, one way or another, I'm gonna have enough to finish those folk cabins.